This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. A beautiful day today. We're so glad you could join us for today's show on this Wednesday, April 10th. In today's episode, I talk with Kevin Kennedy. He's one of the farmer owners at Landus. Had the chance to speak with him at their recent media event at the Landus Innovation Connector. Had a great conversation on data management and how to use that data for your farm. As for right now, let's take a look at how the markets closed on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network Market tab.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're here with Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Tyler, we're at the day before the WASDE report for April. What have we seen in the grain markets today?
A little bit of a mixed trade. You got corn and wheat going to close higher on the day. Kansas City wheat, one of the highest closes we're going to see in 2 months, and up above the 50-day moving average on May. Kansas City wheat on a closing basis, really for the first time. I mean, you got to go back into 2023 since we've closed up above the 50 days. So a big, technical hurdle there. Soybeans really getting kind of blasted again today. They were down yesterday, 6-7 cents in November. They're down again 9 cents today. No real strong reason outside of just failed at some technical, resistance, and feels like the funds are kind of piling back in on shorts ahead of the WASDE report that comes out tomorrow.
And of course, yesterday, not a great day to look at the grain prices specifically. Was there a little bit of rubber band action back up today as well?
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at corn, both the upfront May and the December contract, both of them have fairly decent, short-term support levels. There's kind of an uptrend on the bottom side of the market that has been providing support on these sell-offs. Feels like there's good buying that comes in there. Both May and December went down into that area yesterday, attracted some buying. So kind of the same story. There really wasn't a news story yesterday that said that, we should have been down, what were we down, like 5-6 cents in corn. There really wasn't a strong argument as to why we were, outside the fact that we're just kind of in a marketplace now where, long term, most people will, I shouldn't say everyone. There's a lot of chatter that, we're facing a 2 billion bushel plus carry out on corn. That's not a bullish number. And, in years past, when we have 2 billion bushel carry out on corn, we don't need, plus $4 futures. Definitely don't need $5 futures. So, you've kind of got that weighing overhead on the market. At the same time, we're facing a time, right here in April and May, where we're usually putting the crop in the ground. There's going to be some type of a weather scare. Could turn out to be a very short-term thing. Could turn out to be a long-term issue that we've got to deal with. And so the market's trying to figure out if it's got enough risk premium put into the marketplace. Right now, it just doesn't have enough news to really pile it in and push prices higher, given what we know right now.
And then on the other side of the marketplace in the livestock complex, obviously the weather much nicer today. We've seen some of that grilling demand start to pick up. So how are the cattle and hogs doing?
Hogs, have been on a run here recently. Kind of maybe, I'm not going to say turn around or hit a top. You never know what will happen. But 110 was kind of the ceiling on July hogs. Went up to 110 the last couple of days. Finally today, went plowing through it. Couldn't hold on to the momentum. Closed down about $3 in both June and July. I don't know that that's anything to be concerned about. Would tell hog producers, that maybe need some risk protection. We're at one of those levels where it makes good sense to go ahead and add coverage. On the cattle side, we saw feeders down anywhere from $2 to $3, and fats down anywhere from $1.50 to $2. Same story, different day. There really wasn't any, major headline news, but what I keep telling my producers, the headline risk is negative right now. It's hard for us to come up with a reason that pulls these managed money funds and these speculators back in to get long cattle futures right at the moment. Maybe they will. We don't think it's going to be a rubber band, set a V bottom and go shooting back up to the 270 level and feeders and 190 level and fat cattle. We might get back up to those levels. It will likely be a slower grind now, just with that risk of some type of negative news coming out. It's just really tough to get people to jump into the long side of the boat here.
All right, Tyler, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners and our viewers who'd like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Look us up. Agmarket.net's the website. There's a contact page. You can look, see if there's a broker in your area, and we'd love to visit with you and to help you figure out any of your marketing needs.
Great talking with you as always, Tyler, and we look forward to more market analysis soon.
You bet. Take care.
That again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com.
May corn up 3 even at 4.34 1/4. May soybeans down 9 3/4 at 11.64 3/4. May soybean meal down 4.70 at 3.30.90. Soybean oil up 8 cents at 47.60. Chicago wheat up 3/4 at 5.58 1/2. Kansas City hard red wheat up 17 1/4 at 5.94 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat up half a cent at 6.51 3/4. May oats up 8 even at 3.37 3/4. On the Merc, April live cattle down 162 at 179.07. April feeders down 242 at 238.27. May lean hogs down 222 at 96.55. May pork cutout down 45 cents at 104.42. And April class 3 milk up a penny at 15.57.
And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Landus Farmer-Owner Kevin Kennedy. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Data management was the top point of discussion at the Landus Innovation Connector. During its recent media event, I had the chance to visit with Landus Farmer-Owner Kevin Kennedy about getting ready for this spring planting season and how he uses data collected from his farm to improve his overall operation.
Kevin, we're getting ready for planting season, although yesterday might not have convinced us that it's spring yet. But getting ready for planting season, tell us a little bit about how you're getting ready for that and some of the things that for this year you're kind of prepared for.
Well, thanks to a great fall last year, we're able to get all of our strip till done. We strip till all of the corn and soybean ground. And then we have just under a couple thousand acres of cover crop that we deal with. And so now, this week, we're getting in seed, we're getting in our chemicals and all the other inputs we need, getting things lined up to go. We have to be looking at terminating the cover crop, which, thanks to a very warm winter, is aggressively growing, which that's what we want, but we're going to have to look at terminating that sooner than later. And I think we'll be probably starting to plant beans here in a couple of weeks once it warms up.
So thinking about this year, we had dryness last year. That's continuing over into this year. We're looking, even as we get into the crop season itself, it's projected to be a big year for pests as well. So what are some of the challenges that you're kind of gearing up for as we head into, starting officially this crop season?
Well, we actually used a soil testing service to help identify the level of corn rootworm DNA that we have in our soils, and we've identified some areas that have high DNA count, so therefore we won't be going into corn on corn with those. We'll be going into soybeans with those. And further as we progress into the planting season, we'll be looking at getting all the prescription yield maps, prescription planting maps made, and working with some advanced tools for potentially variable rating nitrogen to a further degree than what we already do. So right now we're just getting everything set and ready to go.
And that was such an interesting part of today's discussion, I think, of having John up there, Matt as well, and you guys talking about that side of things, because as we're getting more and more technology involved on the farm, and I think if you ask a lot of farmers, technology's always been involved on the farm, but getting more of that data being able to be used. Just talk us through some of the new technologies, new data-driven points, as well as the sustainable practices that you're using on your farm to, kind of give yourself an edge, because as we talked about, prices are volatile right now.
Well, when it comes to utilizing data, like I said, we already put the dry fertilizer in place, and that's all precision application. It's all 100% under the plant. Now we're going to look at prescription seeding. And once the prescription seeding is done, then we're going to use drone scouting to actually give us population counts, exact population counts over the entire field. So once the drones are deployed for that, and we've got our stands established and everything is through that window, then we have to look at our post-weed control, because we've already taken care of the pre right after we plant. We go through and take care of the pre at that point. In our post-application, we will do the prescribed system that we sat down and developed in the off-season. Then we will use drones to scout and see how good our kills are and see if we need to do any follow-up with that. Also, the drones will be looking for nutrient deficiencies as well as early disease problems or insect problems that might develop. And yeah, insects are going to be a problem this year because we didn't have much winter in northern Illinois.
So just thinking about all of the new things that you're using on your farm, I mean, even drones, that's a very new thing to a lot of farmers. So what would you say to farmers who are maybe on the fence about, seeing this new technology, or they're already thinking like, hey, I want to start, but, I kind of need that last final push. What would you say for people to, kind of start using that on their farms themselves?
When it comes to the drone technology, that is the first technology that I've been able to use to completely look over a whole field. In other crop scouting services, or when I go look at a field, it's impossible for me to look at every plant in every field. When the drone flies the field, it maps the whole field. And if you want to dial into a specific area, you could pull that up and look at it. There's an app you have on your phone, and when insect, pathogen, or weeds get over a certain threshold, it will alert you and say that a certain field is not where you want it to be. So then you could physically start to look at it on the computer to see where the worst area is, and then from there, go out with the app on your phone and GPS locate where that problem area is to verify that it is indeed that problem. And once you've established that, now you could build a solution for that. I like the fact that I get to see 100% of every part of that field 6 times a year. That's a game changer to me. Never been able to do that. So that's my challenge to farmers who aren't using it is, do you have a technology where you could see everything going on over all your acreage at one time?
All right, Kevin, lots of great information today. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit, and thanks as well for being out here at the Innovation Connector.
Thank you.
That again was Landus Farmer-Owner Kevin Kennedy. And that's all we have for this episode of Ag Matters PM. Thanks again for tuning in. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell on the channel to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free Thrice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.